You've been lied to. You've been told success is about massive leaps, overnight changes, and lucky breaks. But the truth, the people who live at the top, mentally, physically, financially, didn't get there with giant steps. They got there with tiny, deliberate, relentless improvements. And it starts the moment they open their eyes. I call it the 1% morning improvement formula. Because if you can own your morning, you can own your life. Not someday, not next year. Today. You've been lied to. You've been told success is about massive leaps, overnight changes, and lucky breaks. But the truth, the people who live at the top, mentally, physically, financially, didn't get there with giant steps. They got there with tiny, deliberate, relentless improvements. And it starts the moment they open their eyes. The first few seconds after waking are the most underestimated moments of your life. Most people don't even realize they're giving away their day before it starts. They hit snooze, roll over, and let the world decide their mood. They wake up without intention, without clarity, and without purpose. And then they wonder why life feels like a treadmill, moving but going nowhere. But the elite, the ones who live on their own terms, they treat waking up as the first victory of the day. When their eyes open, they don't wait for motivation. They create it. Every morning you are standing at a fork in the road. One path is familiar. It's the path where you wake up, grab your phone, scroll through other people's lives, and immediately drown in noise. That path is comfortable, it's easy, but it's also deadly. It keeps you reactive instead of proactive. The other path, that's where you wake with intention. You set your tone before anyone else gets a chance to. You plant your feet on the floor with a decision in your chest. I am running this day, not the other way around. That choice alone can change everything. When you wake with purpose, you send a message to yourself and the world that you are not here to be passive. You are here to lead your own life. That's why the first thought you allow into your mind in the morning matters. It's not just a thought, it's a command. If your first thought is tiredness, you've already told your body to shrink back. If your first thought is, let's go, you've told your body to expand into the day. The difference is microscopic in the moment, but over weeks, months, years, it changes your destiny. This is why the highest achievers are obsessed with their mornings. They understand something most people don't. How you start is how you live. If your morning is chaotic, your day will reflect that chaos. If your morning is intentional, your day will reflect that intention. Purposeful mornings create powerful days. And powerful days create extraordinary lives. But it doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design. You don't hope to wake with purpose. You decide to. Think of it like this. Every morning is a bank account. The moment you open your eyes, you make your first deposit or your first withdrawal. Reaching for your phone, reading bad news, scrolling social media, that's a withdrawal. Taking a breath, setting your intention, speaking your goals out loud, that's a deposit. Over time, the people who make small, consistent deposits in their mornings become rich. In energy, in clarity, in confidence. The people who don't stay bankrupt in the areas that matter most. If you'd like, I can now expand the second key point in the exact same 6-paragraph deep style so that by the end, your full speech flows as a complete 700 plus words per point, fully gripping from start to finish. Before the world even realizes you're awake, you need to claim your advantage. Movement in the early hours isn't just about exercise. It's about telling your body and mind, we are in control. Most people roll out of bed slowly. dragging their feet like the day owes them something. But the ones who are sharp, the ones who dominate their hours, they move with purpose before anyone else even gets a chance to set the tone for them. This is not about having a perfect workout plan. It's about creating momentum before the day can steal it from you. When you move in the morning, you're not only waking up your muscles, you're igniting your discipline. Your body responds to what you demand from it. A few minutes of powerful, intentional movement sends a surge of energy through your system, telling your brain, we are awake, we are ready, we are unstoppable. This isn't about waiting until you feel motivated. It's about moving first and letting motivation catch up. The truth is, action creates energy, and energy creates results. The biggest mistake people make is thinking movement has to be long and complicated. It doesn't. You don't need 2 hours in the gym to set the tone for your day. You just need intensity and focus. 10 minutes of explosive bodyweight training, a brisk run in the crisp morning air, a deep stretching routine that opens every joint. These things shift your state instantly. The world is full of people who spend their mornings sluggish and slow. Don't join them. Choose to be in the rare group that attacks the day before it even starts. There's also a mental battle happening here. When you choose to move in the morning, you're proving to yourself that you can do the hard things before the easy ones. You're teaching your mind that comfort does not dictate your actions. You do. This discipline spills into every decision you make for the rest of the day. If you can push your body when no one is watching, you can push your mind when challenges come. This is how champions are built. Not in stadiums, not in boardrooms, but in the quiet, unseen hours when most people are still asleep. Morning movement is also a declaration of independence from the chaos that's coming. Because let's be honest, once the day starts, the noise will find you. Emails, calls, problems, demands, they'll all try to pull you away from yourself. But when you start with physical dominance, you anchor your energy. Your blood is flowing, your lungs are open, your posture is strong, and that carries into every interaction. You become harder to shake, harder to rattle, harder to stop. And here's the truth few admit. The way you treat your body in the morning is a reflection of how you value your life. If you can't give yourself 15 minutes of movement to prepare for everything you say you want, then maybe you don't want it as badly as you think. The people at the top of their game aren't there because they got lucky. They're there because they start their day by earning it. Movement isn't optional if you want to live in the 1%. It's not a task, it's a signal that today you came to win. Before you put anything into your mouth, you need to decide what you're putting into your mind. Most people start their mornings by feeding their bodies, but starving their thoughts. They reach for coffee, toast, or whatever's quick. But they don't take a single moment to feed the very thing that will drive their decisions all day, their mind. The most powerful people in the world know that what you think in the morning sets the tone for everything you do. You cannot expect to live a life of excellence if you start your day with mental junk food. Your mind is your greatest weapon, but it's also your greatest vulnerability. Feed it negativity, gossip, and distraction, and it will weaken. Feed it vision, challenge, and focus, and it will sharpen. This is why the elite guard the early moments of their mental space as fiercely as they guard their health. They know that what you allow in first has the loudest echo for the rest of the day. A single inspiring passage, a page from a life-changing book, a short but powerful audio message. These are seeds that grow into strength throughout the hours ahead. Think about it. When you choose to feed your mind with wisdom, before the chaos starts, you're creating a buffer between yourself and the noise of the world. That buffer becomes your advantage. The person who has already filled their head with clarity, ambition, and determination by 6 a.m. will not be easily shaken when the first problem lands on their desk. While others react emotionally, you respond strategically. While others panic, you adapt. That's not luck. That's preparation. And it's not just about reading or listening. It's about engaging. When you take notes, when you write down ideas, when you reflect on what you've just consumed, you're embedding those lessons into your mind. You're making them yours. This is the difference between passively scrolling through motivational quotes and actively building the mindset that will carry you through any challenge. Passive input fades by lunchtime. Active input stays with you for years. There is also something incredibly powerful about creating your own thoughts before the world floods you with theirs. Writing down your goals, your intentions, your vision for the day. It's not just a list. It's a declaration. You are saying to yourself, this is who I am, and this is where I'm going. That single act of mental clarity can keep you from being pulled off track by the endless demands and distractions that are waiting to consume you. Most people get lost in other people's priorities because they never define their own. If you can master feeding your mind before you feed your mouth, you'll notice something. Your mornings stop feeling rushed, and your days start feeling purposeful. You will carry an unshakable calm into situations that used to overwhelm you. You will spot opportunities you once overlooked. You will think differently, act differently, and lead differently. Because you are no longer operating on whatever scraps the world throws at you. You are operating on the highest quality fuel you can find. And that, over time, will separate you from almost everyone you know. Most people wake up and immediately start filling their day with small, safe, easy tasks. Things that make them feel busy, but don't move them forward. It's the illusion of progress. They'll answer a few emails, tidy up, check notifications, cross off little things on a list, and feel productive. But deep down, they know they haven't touched the work that really matters. The people who live in the top 1% don't start their day with easy wins. They start with the one target that will truly change the game. That target is rarely comfortable. In fact, it should scare you a little because comfort never created greatness. When you choose a single bold target each morning, you're forcing yourself to focus on what will actually move the needle in your life. It might be making that high-stakes phone call, pitching your idea to someone who can open doors, finishing a major project, or having the tough conversation you've been avoiding. The point is, it's something significant enough that if you accomplish it, your day has already been a success, no matter what else happens. This is how you train your brain to hunt for victory instead of comfort. The reason this works is because it builds a habit of courage. Every time you face that one big task first, you're telling yourself, I can do hard things. And once you prove that to yourself daily, fear loses its power. While others procrastinate, hesitate, and wait for the right moment, you're already moving, already building momentum. That momentum becomes a weapon. It makes you harder to stop because you're no longer negotiating with yourself about whether or not to act. You just act. This single target approach also protects you from the biggest trap in personal growth, spreading your energy too thin. when you try to do everything at once. Nothing gets your best. But when you give one bold goal your undivided attention in the morning, you pour your peak energy into something that actually matters. It's like a laser compared to a flashlight. The laser cuts through. The flashlight just makes things visible. If you want to change your life, you need to cut through. There's another benefit most people don't realize. Starting your day with a high value target sets a tone of seriousness. It tells your mind, we are here for results, not excuses. It forces you to rise above distractions because you've already set the standard for your day. When you start small, it's easy to keep thinking small. But when you start big, your whole day expands to match that level of thinking. Suddenly, you're operating on a higher frequency than the people around you, and that gap only widens over time. Choosing one big target every morning is not about perfection. It's about power. It's about stacking days where you've done something significant, something that pushes you closer to the life you actually want. Those days compound. They build confidence, momentum, and results that others can't understand. They'll think you're lucky, but luck has nothing to do with it. You didn't stumble into success. You aimed for it before breakfast. And when you do that long enough, you stop being just another person in the crowd and start becoming someone impossible to ignore. The first hour of your day is the most valuable real estate you will ever own. And most people give it away for free. They hand it over to social media, to messages, to news, to problems that aren't even theirs. They let the outside world set the tone before they've had a chance to claim it themselves. The 1% know better. They guard that first hour like it's sacred. They understand that what you do with those 60 minutes determines who you will be for the rest of the day. If you let noise in early, chaos will follow. If you let focus in early, power will follow. Guarding your first hour means protecting your energy like it's life or death, because it is. You only get a limited amount of mental clarity each day, and the first hour is when it's purest, sharpest, most untouched by distraction. That's when your mind is a blank page, ready to be written on. If you let someone else write on it first, through a text, a headline, a notification, you lose control of the story. But if you write on it yourself, through intention, planning, and purpose, you become the author of your day, not a character in someone else's script. The problem is, most people don't even realize how much they're losing by starting their day in reaction mode. Every time you check your phone, before you've checked in with yourself, you're training your brain to be reactive, not proactive. You're teaching yourself that other people's priorities matter more than your own. And once you give away that control, it's nearly impossible to get it back. That's why the 1% treat the first hour as untouchable territory. No interruptions, no distractions, no access. It's theirs and only theirs. Using that first hour strategically can change everything. It's not about doing random activities. It's about stacking powerful habits that reinforce each other. Movement to wake the body, learning to sharpen the mind, planning to focus the day, gratitude to strengthen perspective. 1 hour of that, every single morning, will put you ahead of almost everyone you know. Because while they're scrolling, you're building. While they're reacting, you're creating. While they're waking up, you're already in motion. Guarding your first hour also forces you to decide what truly matters. You can't fill it with everything, so you have to fill it with the best things. This means being intentional, ruthless even, about where you put your attention. You stop letting your life be hijacked by trivialities, and you start giving your energy only to the actions that align with your goals. That level of discipline compounds. It's why the people who own their mornings often end up owning their lives. And here's the truth. You will be tested. People will try to pull you into their chaos. Notifications will tempt you. The world will try to convince you that your attention isn't worth protecting. But every time you say no, you're saying yes to your own growth, your own goals, your own greatness. You're making a statement. This hour belongs to me and I will not give it away. Do that long enough. And the life you want stops being a dream and stops being the inevitable result of how you've been living every single morning. Most people wake up and launch straight into motion without ever stopping to think about where they're actually going. They treat the morning like a starting gun, running, rushing, reacting, without ever asking themselves if the race they're running is even worth winning. The 1% do it differently. They take a moment to reflect before they charge forward. They understand that power without direction is wasted energy, and they refuse to spend their day aimlessly, burning fuel on things that won't matter in the long run. Reflection in the morning is not about sitting still for the sake of stillness. It's about clarity. It's about asking yourself, what matters most today? What is my mission? Who do I need to be to accomplish it? Those aren't casual questions. They're the blueprint for how you'll move through the hours ahead. Without them, your day is a random collection of tasks. With them, your day is a mission with a clear target, and every action you take becomes a step toward that target. This kind of reflection forces you to lead your day instead of following it. When you take the time to decide your focus before the world demands your attention, you move with intention instead of impulse. That means fewer wasted hours, fewer distractions, and far less energy spent on things that don't serve you. Most people wonder why their days feel scattered. It's because they never paused long enough to aim. You can't hit a target you never defined. It also strengthens your resilience. When you know your mission for the day, the inevitable interruptions and problems lose their power to throw you off course. You don't crumble when something unexpected happens. You adapt. You adjust your route, but you keep your destination in sight. That's what separates the 1% from the rest. The ability to stay locked on their objective, no matter what the day throws at them. Reflection creates that lock-in. Without it, you're like a ship without a compass, easily tossed, easily lost. Morning reflection also has a way of sharpening your identity. It's not just about what you'll do today. It's about who you'll be while doing it. Will you be disciplined or distracted? Will you be bold or hesitant? Will you lead with strength or fold under pressure? The act of answering those questions trains your mind to show up as your strongest self. And when you consistently show up as that version of you, your life starts to change because you're no longer drifting through your days. You're defining them. This is why reflection is a non-negotiable for the top performers in any field. They know that skill and effort are nothing without direction. They know that energy is a finite resource, and wasting it on the wrong things is the fastest way to stay average. Taking a few minutes each morning to think, to plan, to center yourself. It's not a luxury. It's the foundation. Skip it and you'll work harder but get less. Make it a habit and you'll work smarter, move faster, and accomplish more than most people ever will, simply because you know exactly where you're going before you take the first step. The truth is, the 1% morning improvement formula isn't magic. It's discipline. It's a deliberate choice every single morning to rise above comfort, distraction, and excuses. It's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You just need to win the first moments of your day, again and again, until they become your new standard. Because here's what happens when you wake with purpose. Move before the world wakes. Feed your mind with power. Set a bold target. Guard your first hour. And reflect before you run. You stop living by chance and start living by design. Your mornings stop being a blur and start becoming a launch pad. You stop reacting to life and start directing it. And this doesn't just change your mornings. It changes everything. Your energy shifts. Your focus sharpens. Your confidence grows. You begin to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You stop chasing time and start owning it. Suddenly, you're not just keeping up with life. You're leading it. Every morning is a doorway. Most people walk through it half asleep, dragging yesterday's doubts and tomorrow's fears. But you get to walk through it wide awake, carrying only clarity, energy, and intention. And when you do that consistently, you separate yourself from 99% of the world without even trying. So tomorrow morning, when the alarm goes off, remember this greatness doesn't arrive fully formed. It's built one choice, one action, one morning at a time. The 1% aren't lucky. They're just relentless about winning the hours no one else values. The question is, will you be one of them?